Good day, it is Stephen Davids here, and in this video we will discuss the Elna 7000, and in particular we will discuss the general program section here, standard program. When you switch on the Elna 7000, it immediately diverts to the standard program keyboards, and here you will see then standard one is 1, and if you select 1, these are the number of programs that there are. Here is the description of the stitch: short stitch, long stitch, triple stitch, etc. All these stitches, and directly then adjacent to it is the number. So if you want to, for example, select the zigzag number 2, you press zigzag. If you want to press a wider zigzag, there you press 3. And you can continue with this. If you the darning program, you press here 0, for example. And then you look up here at the menu board. On the far right hand side, you will see the indication of the program that you selected. You will also then see additional information on the rest of the menu. You will see here, this is the stitch width. If you increase it here, decrease it, or you can increase the stitch width. Here you will get then the stitch length. Here you will get the stitch length. By pressing the minus button, you decrease it. By pressing the plus button, you increase it. Here on this side, where there's also a small foot, this indicates then also what foot you must use. Some stitches you cannot adjust the width. You can see this is stitch number 1, it's a straight stitch, the width is 0. The reason is very simply because of the nature of the stitch. A straight stitch is straight, it's not going around. If you wanted another stitch, a zigzag or whatever, then you would have been able to adjust the width. Here you will get the foot, indication of the foot that you must use. Foot number A. Foot number A, you go then to your accessory case and remove your accessory case. And then your accessory case, if you remove it, you open your accessory case. You see all the feet of this model is marked and engraved. There is a number. It is B, foot B, and there is foot D, foot B, foot D, foot F, and also then the other foot E, and well as the foot N. And then here is also a foot A. Foot A is already on, you can see there. So in this case, it is not necessary to change it. If there's another foot, then you can change it. Okay, let's see foot 1. There's foot A is on. Let's go now to another foot, foot E. In this case, you must use the foot E, and there is foot E indicated as such. All you do is then you take your foot and then you change it and put it on the Elna. I will not now change the foot because this is very elementary, and however I want to point out something else. This is foot A. It is easy to see. But if you now, for example, come here, standard program number 8, you see here something that looks like a 6. It's not a capital B. However, this is the foot B that is marked with a capital B. You can see here, it's capital B, but here it is the small b, and it looks in fact like a 6. Do not get confused. This is foot B. There's also something else that can cause confusion. Let's go again to, for example, the straight stitch. This is foot A. But now you look to a program which we can get later on, program number 700 for the, then you see here the A. This doesn't mean foot A. Here is the foot sign on the here is the food sign on the Elna. So this is food B. This A indicates that the stitch length or the stitch width is automatically selected. You cannot change it here. This is automatic set section. So please do not be confused, because it is possible to confuse it. When you select the program, see to that the needle is raised, because if you select the program here, and I will just press a few, you will see that the needle moves. The needle in fact moves. So if the needle is down under, it is a little bit problematic. The needle can break. So for safety purposes, have the needle up when you change the program. And reverse, while the foot pedal is pressed, then immediately and at the same time you get the instant reverse. So let's go forward and then press. You see it reverses back. Go back again. This the reverse. This is for back stitches and to secure your stitches. Any program and any stitch, can you make an inverse? Of course, you can't make an inverse of a straight switch because it's still straight. But any other of these selections, you can make an inverse turnaround. And we selected now the inverse for the stitch we made, stitch number 15. And let us then see what happens. Keep the foot in at its maximum, because we set here at this maximum speed what must happen. Let me stop. So here you can see what happened here. This is a normal stitch, and here is the inverse that we selected. If we want to cancel the inverse, you just press again. This stitch controls the stitch width. It immediately, whatever stitch you choose, when you select this button, it immediately halves the width of the stitch. You also use the switch whenever you use the twin needle. Let us illustrate this halving of the stitch width. The stitch width, we selected program C. The stitch width is now 3.1. Let us increase the stitch width and make it 5. And then let us just press it. Now let us just half it and see. It's now 5. Let's half it. You can see it's immediately 2.5. Here is the stitch width then at 5 mm, and there it is when we halved it. If you want to cancel the half, a switch, just press it again. Engage it pressing, turn it off by pressing it again. If you do these stitches and just press on the button, you will get everything in the order. You can do this with any stitch. But suppose in this case, let's go here. Suppose in the case of a letter A, B, C, you want just to have one thing, one letter. What do you do then? To select one stitch, you just go here on the bottom and select times 1. Remember, you select this times 1, not 1. 1 is a program. Here you select just times 1. And then you will see it will stop after 1 stitch. That is for any stitch that you select here, the A, the B, the F, or whatever stitch. If you just want one stitch, then you select the times 1 and it will automatically stop after 1. Now let us see what happens if we press the pedal. It's shorten, stop. And if we take it out, there you will see just one stitch was made. Here, just one stitch. The selection of one single switch becomes very important when you do decorative stitches like the letters of the alphabet A. When we want to spell and name Albert, then you must A and L, then B, etc., etc. So then you can't have a continuous line. Otherwise, you will just Without pressing in the ×1, you will just have a lot of A's, B, B's, or whatever stitch you select. This does not only apply to the alphabet or the numerical letters, but to any stitch that you can just select one. This is the speed control that controls the maximum speed at which the Elna runs if you press the foot control down at its maximum. So here at the bunny is the maximum, is fast, and then the tortoise is slow. So let us just see the difference here. I press in the foot control fully. Let me reduce it now, halfway. And let me reduce it slowly. This way you can then control the maximum speed at which the Elna run if and when you are busy with decorative stitches, and you do not then need to vary the speed. You just vary the speed basically here, not necessarily with the foot control, because we put in the foot control firmly to its utmost maximum, and here you then have the speed, and that way you can have an even stitch where the stitch is not fast, slow, fast, slow. Thank you very much for watching this video. We love constructive comments and criticism. Please like and share this video.